Today we're looking at the directory class information methods. The directory class is located in system.io, and you have to have a using system.io in order to access these methods. There's also a large number of directory methods that are more active that are used to manipulate directories, such as copy, move, and delete, but we'll be covering those in a later tutorial. The informational methods we're looking at today are get files, get directories, get logical drives, get creation time, get last access time, get or last write time. It should be get last write time, and get parent. And these aren't all of the informational methods in the directory, but they're representative, and also probably they're the most important one, especially get files and get directories. In order to demo this, I wrote a program with a number of controls and labels. I put the labels that have the method names in red, and then the get files returns a string array. So I have a list box that can represent the array, and get directories also returns a string array, so I have a list box for that. Same thing with get logical drives. And then we have the four methods that return just one value, a scalar value, if you will. And get creation date returns a date time, as does get last access time and get last write time. And these need to be converted to string in order to display, because they're a date time data type. And we'll talk about get date time in a later tutorial. And the same way, in a way, with get parent, and that it returns a directory info data type, which we need to convert to string. And we're going to talk about directory info, I'm pretty sure, in the next tutorial. So that's coming up pretty quick. And if we look at the code, the calls are fairly straightforward. We have a string array, and it's named files, and we do the directory get files, and the directory I'm passing it is a string constant, which has the format const string directory root, which I like to capitalize string constants to show that they can't be changed within the program. And then I have an @ sign, which allows me to use the backslashes. It doesn't take them as being escape characters. And then the quotes around the string, of course. So the directory we're going to be looking at in all the calls but one is c:/webcam/class. And the one that doesn't take a drive is the get logical drives, which just gets all the logical drives in the computer, so you don't need a parameter at all. It just has two parents. But I've actually probably dwelled on these enough. Basically getting the array into a string, and then using a for each to put the array value successively into a representative string of, like, cur deer. Like cur deer gets every array member of deer, and each time it gets it, it does a listbox.items.add to put that in the list box. And the same way with the other three list box things. And then the date time functions, like get last write time, get last access time, and get creation date time, get put into a date time variables. And then in order to put them in the text fields, I do a toString to convert them to strings before I put them in the text fields. And I think they're pretty much self-explanatory, the calls. I'm going to put the source code on my website as usual, and you'll probably just want to copy the code in cases when you want to use that code, because they're pretty self-explanatory, and basically you just want to remember what they are. So if we run this program, compile and run it, see, these are all the files that are under Git file, and there's quite a few because the webcam class is actually where I keep all the class information. Like these RTF files are actually the to-do files that you see at the beginning. They're output by a C# program I wrote. And external files are just give you additional information if you need it for those files. And then the directories that are under the webcam or webcam/class are JPEGs, programs, tests, videos, and WMVs. And my logical drives are C, D, E, F, G, H, X, Y, and Z. And probably you'll recognize that X, Y, and Z are map drives that are actually accessing another computer across the LAN. And a lot of these others are things like smart card readers, you know, for camera chips and whatnot. And then the Git creation time, it's a time format of 5/5/2012 and the time and so on. And I've noticed the Git last access time and the Git last write time are almost always the same time. I suppose because the write is an access, but I haven't been able to figure out a way of getting those to be different times. And of course the parent directory of C:/webcam/class is just C:/webcam. So as I say, pretty self-explanatory. The main thing is to know that they exist. And if you ever need to get the specific format of the code, just go to my website, which is shown below, and just cut and paste it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and learned a lot from it. And don't forget to subscribe.